What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I am back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Albert Wesker. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Miracle. The map, well, if you don't know what the map is by now, you've got a lot of catching up to do. It's currently 1-0 for Miracle in this best of 3 for the group stages of the competitive mega random tournament. $1,000 on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Not necessarily for this game, but for the eventual top 3-4 place finishes. Yes. So we'll see how it's all going to go. Miracle did get that first win on a bit of a weird Mediterranean variant. Now we're on a new map, new life, new me, new you. And we'll see what's going to happen here. Miracle cannot play Uranus anymore, so he has to switch into a different god. And it's interesting to see that he is going with the Hades. This could potentially be an attempt at countering what Albert Wesker is wanting to do, being that Wesker is actually a one-trick Loki player. I'm sure that he can play the other gods to somewhat of a high level, but the fact that his Loki is such a higher level than all of his other gods, it kind of makes sense that you can try and counter-sieve his Loki here by going with a god that you might feel like is a counter god. So Hades being a really, really defensive god, very resilient, potentially going to be able to keep Miracle alive against the fire. See what I did there? Of the Loki. So things like pulling back, making pacifists and sitting behind watchtowers and sentinels and things like that can be a very, very easy or strong way to go about winning a game here against Loki. But this is Albert Wesker. This is no pushover Loki player. He's going to be showing off some of the business here, and we'll see what he's going to come up with in this game. This seems to me like a fairly decent amount of hunt map. We've got a caribou spawn, got 2 caribou spawns. Looks like it's 2 caribou spawns in total, with the deer spawn over here potentially. Nope, there's another deer spawn in the corner here, and some aurochs spawns. That's 4 spawns. A boar spawn, that's 5 spawns. So a really, really good amount of food here for these players. It's going to be a really, really happy game here for the Loki player Wesker, and actually a really, really good map spawn here for an Athena style Hades, a Hoplite Toxotes Athena style Hades. I'm a big fan of Greek players against Norse, and especially against Loki, not going with cavalry. The idea being that unless your idea is to just build a handful of cavalry and never upgrade them to medium, seems like a waste. But to never upgrade them to medium, just build a handful to be as a defensive tool or something, then I could get that in a way. But the idea is that if we go Hoplite Toxotes in the classical age for Hades or Zeus or Poseidon, then we're going to not waste any resources getting to the meat and potatoes of our army, which is Hoplite and a pacifist against Norse, and potentially Toxotes as well to deal with enemy throwing axemen. But everybody seems to disagree with me a lot of the times, and that's life. But we're going to be seeing Albert Wesker advancing fairly soon here. I'm surprised to see Miracle not advancing just yet, but he's going for a later advance time. The standard for Greek in recent years has been go up 430-ish. So go up 430, or get yourself your Ajax and advance after that. So you go for a 430 with an Ajax, nets you a 9 seconds, a 439 advance time. So that's the standard of recent in like the past years. But very, very recently, Greek players have started experimenting and having a lot of success going even faster and trying to work out the differences with going even faster to see what advantages they can get. Idea being that if I advance at 4 minutes and get my Ajax out then instead of the half a minute earlier, am I really giving up that much to delay my Ajax for 30 seconds? The other thing is that if I advance that fast, then I can throw up my military academy, my archery range right at 4 minutes, then my army is getting produced much, much earlier than normal. Therefore, I get more units and all the other things. And then if you say, okay, well, if my economy functions, where that's the case, as we are seeing Albert sending a Herser and getting repelled here, if that is the case, then if I do actually have to advance later, what more should I be doing with said advance? My contention is the later you advance, the more technologies you should be getting. So if we go for a 430, we should either get hand axe or we should get an extra minotaur. If we are going even later, we should think about hand axe, pickaxe, and there has to be a certain time where you say that's it. As we are seeing these Herso moving back in, going to be hitting that minotaur just a little bit, but Chiron's coming over here to say g'day, and surely Wesker's going to want to get out of here. As Miracle, nice marker there, being a little bit spicy with his minotaur coming through. We see the Military Academy getting dropped on this location over here, as we do see this Herso targeting the granary getting picked off, and the Katoskopos coming through here to scout around Albert Wesker's base. I'm still a little bit surprised and or perplexed with the idea that Greek players not going Pegasus. This is something that I thought would start happening quite a lot because of the mega random nature of the random nature of mega random. But in actuality, even on the normal map spawns, getting a Pegasus in the early stages of the game here for Greek is so absurdly good. I don't understand why it's not done more. However, we're seeing something that I very, very much do not recommend here that Miracle's going for. He's going to be grabbing himself a second town center. This allows essentially the Loki player to have all of the free reign on the map. And the Hades player is saying, you know what? Come at me. You're not gonna have me in this game. Come at me. Let's see what you got. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna defend. You have to beat me here. So that's what Miracle's saying here. Going for this second town center. We see these hoplites here. There's not quite enough to defend this one as the Ajax and Chiron are out of position. A little bit of a maybe not a villager just manages to get just barely away there. A little bit of a strange position there for the Ajax Chiron, if I'm completely honest, considering this is the known weak location there for Miracle, but Miracle just making sure he can get this town center up. The Military Academy going to get taken down here, giving a fair amount of favor over to Wesker, but Wesker going to come back in. And Chiron is here with Ajax to say, I'm probably going to be okay here. But if you ever go for a fast second town center, the actual rules, the unwritten rules for fast second town center is do not fight your opponent for at least 5 minutes, or try not to fight your opponent for at least 5 minutes. You can go for little raids, you can try and do everything, but you want to try not to fight your opponent because you know your opponent's got more resources spent in military than you do by a very big amount here. So we are seeing a nice little amount of food being found here by Miracle, going to be eating that up and living the dream where that's concerned, as this Einhjar over here does blow his horn, but has been surrounded here and will indeed get sniped there. So Wesker not going to be so happy about that one, but the Military Academy in the end does end up going down, as we see an archery range getting built here for Miracle. Miracle going to be moving back home. And a double archery range actually for Miracle in the end of this. He's got tons of cows in his base. And Wesker's at 75 population, getting himself eyes in the forest. More houses continuously getting dropped down. And Wesker has now grabbed himself an armory. We see some walls coming up, but this semi-fast heroic here from Wesker is always going to be terrifying for anyone to deal with. 85 population, 10-minute or 9:30, whatever you can quite muster, heroic age from a Loki with full Herser is so strong. Now, the thing that I would love to see here from Wesker, which we don't see very often, but because I don't know why, but we should start seeing it more, is getting up Pierce armor upgrades. Idea being, I want to force a fight. I want to make sure that that town center is doing a lot less damage. And the fact is that copper shields is pretty cheap here, as we will be seeing that advance coming through very, very shortly here. Wesker has the resources to advance. I'm going to be clicking up as soon as this villager is finished, I would assume. You see the wall getting beaten down there. The villager getting sniped down here as the Minotaur getting pulled back. And I actually like this wall here from Albert Wesker. It kind of denies his opponent's walls in a big way here as Miracle now moving across the map has found Wesker's hunting party here. This is a big, big win here for Miracle. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Now, the big thing, though, about Loki is if you allow him to get to this point in the game where he has, say, 15, 20 Hersa out, losing villages, he doesn't really care because those Hersa are, in fact, his economy. As we are now going to be seeing Wesker making a move in onto this town center. Thank you so much for the 2 months, Moose. Mus. Appreciate you, my friend. You are actually number one. You are the number one. So we are seeing now Wesker going to be retreating back. I'm not sure he needs to. He's found some more units to be sniping down. The village is going to be returning back into their home base here. We see the villagers kind of idle on this gold, but all of these villagers here for Wesker can now jump onto the cows that he's got remaining in his base. These dwarves will make their way over onto this gold mine, and Wesker's going to be relatively happy where that's concerned. An Iron spawn here and a troll spawn, actually a very, very big deal here as a longhouse getting thrown up. Albert Wesker can send this Einhjar in first to tank this town center and then not really lose too much HP on that one there. Let's look at all the resources in the bank here for Wesker. He doesn't have any armory upgrades, which is making me a little bit sad. The reason this makes me a little bit sad is because, well, clearly timing attack here would be very, very strong. So if he had copper shields, copper mail right now, man, these Hersa would live for an absolute age here as this troll is actually getting some really, really nice damage here. The Hersa are a little bit confused about where they're going. I think they were concerned that the gold mine was going to be spotted here as we do see the handful of units pushing up to the top side of the map. The villagers coming over here to try and eat these Aurochs here as the Ajax does follow the battle ball. But here's the big thing. Wesker's at 105 of 115 population at this point. And yes, the villagers are going to be getting attacked here, which is a little bit unfortunate, but such is life. The Ajax is going to get sniped down. The battle ball not going to be getting picked off here. As we do see the ox cart does end up going down. Most of the villagers going to be able to live here. One does fall. Villagers returning back into the main base of Wesker here. As these units from Miracle retreating away. Miracle is doing a really, really good job of deflecting here. Now, had Miracle been able to do this while going to the Heroic Age, he'd be able to get out Hypaspis, and that really neuters the Hersa's ability to do huge amounts of damage. Because when you think about it, Hypaspis with its full upgrades is going to be doing more damage than Hersa with flaming weapons. Anyways, the Hersa coming back in onto this position, trying to take down the Chiron over here. Nice micro from Wesker there with those Hersa dodging out on the Toxotes. The battle ball is coming through, going to get spawned as soon as units really start dying here, which is a big, big deal. Another battle ball coming down. The Chiron has to get out of there, and all of these human units are just taking so much damage from the battle balls. This is way too many Hersa to be getting deflected there by Miracle, but Miracle's still trying to make this fight work, and his army is getting absolutely totaled in this one. Not having access to the Achilles here as well is a really, really big problem for Wesker. He's going to have to keep making that Ajax, which it doesn't seem like he's doing here, as more battle ball going to be coming through, and every single one of these battle ball is a ridiculously strong siege weapon, dealing 20 crush damage, 20 hack damage a second, which is a really, really big amount of damage. So these battle ball are easily going to be able to clear out even a Hades town center here. No problems where that's concerned. This stone wall is not long for this world either. And a big problem that is going to be arising here for Miracle is going to be this gold mine, as his home gold mine's only got 397 gold left in it. Barely any gold in the bank here for Miracle. Wesker not actually pushing through this nicely, though. He's got a lot of idle Hersa in the bank here. In the back here, I should say, not fighting because the units can't make it through. They've got to beat down this wall first, but maybe Miracle wanted to do that so he could get more battle ball. He's now on 6 battle ball here in this region. Still pushing forward. He'll be trying to get in here and get some serious damage done. Wesker hasn't been able to get himself a second town center or anything, so he is still functioning off of 115 population. Miracle back up to 115 population himself, but he is up 20 population in villages. So the military advantage here for Wesker is absolutely ginormous here, as now Wesker pushes in the flaming weapons, gets dropped with, I mean, there's only like 8 Hursa, or well, we've got more than 8 Hursa, 9 Hursa, 9 Hursa, 11 Hursa, so it's a very big amount actually, as now we see the battle ball pushing in here. The Ajax and Chiron going to be attempting to take down these battle balls, but I don't think Wesker's going to care too much here, as he's going to be getting a shit ton of favor from this fight, from those Hursa. He's getting himself Frost Giant spawns, Battle Ball spawns, hoping for a Mountain Giant spawn maybe to try and take down this town center even faster. But in the end of the day here, Miracle's still trying to fight this one. Not going to be able to keep the town center up, and Wesker is going to continue his onslaught. Now getting himself bronze shields, as look at that, he's got himself copper shields already, so those Hursa are going to be able to live even longer here. The problem for Wesker, not really, is actually got Hunt. He's got 13 villagers on said Hunt. No real problems for him. He's going to keep that spam of Hursa alive here. Is he still building villages? Yes, he is. Throwing down farms as well. Going to be allowing himself to transition into the next part of this game here. Villages over on this gold mine as well for Miracle. Miracle's at 100 population still. So he's still staying afloat here. The problem is that there's just so many myth units that have been created by Wesker that there's just not enough heroes to deal with them. You only get 2 heroes in the classical age for Greek, and to pick off all these myth units, you really need a 3rd one, maybe even a 4th one here, because there's just so many. The village is going to be making a break for it. Miracle doesn't want to lose that economic advantage that he's got in terms of the definitely the villager advantage. So let's see how he's going to do here as the battle ball and to continue to push through. The big thing here for Miracle is he can move forward. He can grab all of this Hunt over here. He's got a handful of Aurochs here as well. So he does have a decent amount of resources still on the map that he's going to be able to gather from. But being stuck in this classical age, not having access to those heroes, not having access to not having access to the pacifist is really going to be the nail in the coffin here. Do we see the speedy battle ball? We do even see speedy battle ball. So these battle ball have got 0.6 extra speed here. So they are speedy little mongrels. In fact, can they dodge Chiron? Or does he have? No, they can dodge Chiron if they're moving at max speed. That's actually hilarious. As we see the settlement here going to get grabbed for Wesker, and see how this is going to go. If Wesker's going to have any real idea about where he should send said battle balls. There's 2 gold mines over here, and in fact will hit multiple different villager groups, which is a really, really big help. And now we are seeing Wesker making those Huskar, which makes things even more challenging for Miracle here. So Town Center not being allowed up just yet, but these Huskar coming out means now you can't really even make Toxotes, because they just get absolutely demolished here as irrigation is coming through. And in that moment, with the battle ball on the gold mine, Miracle does decide to tap out. GG, well played by Wesker. Definitely showing a really, really hot take on why 2-town center play, especially on high hunt maps, is a really, really challenging way to play Hades against Loki. Really, really nice punish from Albert Wesker, coming through with a huge timing attack. All those battle balls helping out a ton. A nice try here from Miracle getting those raids in. He got a nice little bit of economic damage done. But in the end, if you can't make it to the heroic age, you are in a serious amount of trouble. I do wonder what would have happened here if Miracle went, say, like 85 population, cut military on those, kept raiding, and just allowed Wesker to come in and take this town center down while going heroic age in this town center, or like maybe he would have been heroic age before the town center was taken down, and then just make a pacifist and go market trade if he needed to get up the gold to get those pacifists out. Obviously the problem is going to be food to some degree, but he did have a lot of cows. So I feel like there is actually some room in this strategy to take advantage of the one unit nature of Loki, but I'm interested if it will work. Maybe it wouldn't. Just spitballing here. GG, well played by Wesker, going up 1-1 in this series. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 does not exist. It went out of sync, and therefore there is no recorded game for said game 3, which means the victor of said game 3, you're going to have to go and look at the Discord if you really want to know the results of this series. They're in the results tab, the standings, whatever it is. And yes, that's all I've got to say where that's concerned. If you enjoyed the game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.